Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz from Oz Mechanics, and today we're going to be talking about floods. I'm going to be talking about what to do if you're stuck in a flood and what to do if your car is flooded on today's video. Alright, so first and foremost, if you see a flood or if you see high water, stop. Move back, reverse, and get away from it. Because as you can tell, these newer vehicles right here, they are equipped with a bunch of computers and modules and electronics. So if you do get water in the electronics and all that, you are gonna mess it up. And on top of that, as you can see right in front of the vehicle, this is the air nozzle. So this is what basically goes into the filter and goes into the engine. So if we are going through a high water and it's just gonna accumulate and go into the car, so we're gonna try to avoid that as much as possible. And as you can see, most cars, they're low to the ground, so they're about a foot off the ground. That's just gonna be devastating if you start getting water into there. So the best thing to do is reverse and just push back. So do not go into water. But now let's talk about the situation if we do get into the water. Now let's show you what's going to happen if you're kind of stuck in the middle of the flood. Let's get to it. All right, so now let's talk about the situation that we're stuck in the flood and we can't reverse back. So if we get stuck in the flood, the best thing to do is try to get to the highest point. So a high point where there's a grocery store or something like that, and trying to stay away from the flood. So when you get to that situation, the best thing to do is not to just drive through. A lot of people have that misconception. Keep it in drive and then just push the gas pedal down. While you do that, by pressing the gas pedal down, it's basically going to open up the throttle body and you're going to allow more air to go in. But by allowing more air to go in, that's going to allow water to go in, and that's going to damage your engine. So the best thing to do is to actually go down to the low gear or to first gear, and with that, that's going to allow less effort on the gas pedal to move the vehicle. So the best thing to do, put it on low gear, go up to a high point, that's a gas station, grocery store, and then wait it out there until the flood goes out, and then after that, go back to drive and go back home. Alright, now let's just say that your car got flooded. So what's going to happen, water is going to start going into this little intake area, and that little intake area takes it to the air filter. Once it goes to the air filter, it goes into the throttle body, and it just goes into the engine. So if the situation does happen when you do get it flooded, the best thing to do is just turn it off. Don't try to crank it over, because once you start getting water into the cylinders, water does not compress and something has to go. So if that happens, kiss your engine goodbye. Best thing to do, if the engine shuts off or you just get too flooded, just turn it off. As soon as that happens, just turn it off. Wait until the next day. Once the next day comes by, first thing that you want to do, take off your air filter. Got to find where your air filter is at. So once you get your air filter, pull it out, because most likely it's going to be soaked in water. And then clean out the whole area under here. Make sure that that's all cleaned out, and then put a brand new air filter. And then after that, what you're going to do, you're going to take off. This has cold over plugs. If you have wires or whatever, we're going to take these off, pull all the spark plugs out, and after that we're going to crank over the engine. But we got to make sure that we don't have any water in the intake side. So that's going to be the first thing, making sure that we get all the water out of here. And then after that, we're going to take out the spark plugs, and then we're going to crank the engine over. Once we do that, we're going to see if we have a chance that the engine is going to be working. So once you do that, replace your spark plugs. Highly recommend replacing your oil. And what I can say, cross your fingers, just hope that the engine's still going to be working. So remember, start off with the air filter, make sure that everything's cleaned up there, all the water is out. Pull out your ignition coils or your spark plugs, and then after that, crank the car over a couple of times until all the water comes out of there. And put brand new spark plugs in there, brand new oil, And then after that, let's just hope that the best is gonna come by afterwards. All right, so those are my tips on what to do if you get caught in a flood. Remember, like I said, go from drive to low, get yourself in the high elevated place where there's no floods, wait it out. But if you do get flooded, like I said, take out the air filter, clean it out, take out your spark plugs, crank the engine over, put brand new oil, brand new spark plugs, and give it a try and see if your car's working. So here from Oz Mechanics, if you do like this video, please thumbs up, subscribe, and share. And if you're in the path of a hurricane or the flood, please share this video so you can help out others out there. So y'all take care here from Oz Mechanics. Goodbye.